my money back!
I don't want the money. This is my house and I'm not moving.
Welcome to the Shermer High Alumni Association. I'm Kristen.
I'm Janine.
And I'm Carol.
And we rewatch movies from the 80s to determine, did that age well?
This week's movie is The Money Pit, a movie about how home renovation makes you absolutely lose your shit.
Join us as we rewind, rewatch, and remember the decade that shaped us.
Hey guys,
Hello, hello.
how are you?
Oh, just fine. How are you guys?
Hot.
Oh no. I hate being hot.
Yeah, I don't
is-
know when it's going to end either, honestly.
It is spring now.
Yeah, it's spring.
Is today spring?
First day of spring.
Our recording date is the first day of spring.
Our recording day, yes.
Yes.
So you're just welcoming spring with some mild 90-degree weather.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
Cleveland got up to 68, and that was just a joy.
Was it 68?
My car read 68 about an hour and a half ago. And it was gorgeous.
Interesting.
Trying to find my phone.
Okay.
I think tomorrow's supposed to be lovely as well.
Oh, good. I know I've seen bits and pieces of this movie. Like when I thought of the title of the movie, I was like, oh yeah, the staircase falls down and Tom Hanks is like hanging there and the bathtub falls through. So I knew parts of the movie, but I didn't remember like the storyline of the movie.
Same.
So like, I don't know if I saw it or if it was more like I remembered maybe like movie posters. I don't know.
I think I saw it in the 80s, like with mom watching it, or it probably came out on VHS, but I don't remember watching the whole thing and grasping what it was about.
Yeah. I'm going to say this is probably my least favorite Tom Hanks movie.
Agreed.
It's definitely not his best.
In case you didn't see it, like majority of us didn't, this is about Walter and Anna, who are living in a New York City apartment owned by Max, who is Anna's ex-husband. And he suddenly decides to return to New York and subsequently kicks them out. In needing a new home, they settle on buying a country estate outside the city, available at a suspiciously low price. It soon becomes apparent why, as doors fall off their hinges, staircases come tumbling down, and a bathtub falls through the floor. The couple's relationship suffers similarly.
And we have our star, Tom Hanks. We've gone over Tom before, so we won't spend a lot of time on him. He was born July 9th of 1956 here in Concord, California. He is one of the most recognizable and beloved actors in the world. He actually got his start in Cleveland, Ohio, working as a $45 a week intern at the Great Lakes Shakespeare Festival, which was at Lakewood High School, where he performed and built sets, which earned him his equity card. He's known for both comedy and drama, and over the years has become a true American cultural icon. He's won 2 consecutive Academy Awards for Philadelphia in 1993 and Forrest Gump in 1994, along with multiple Emmys and a Tony Award. He's married to actress Rita Wilson. He has 4 children and still has ties to Cleveland, where he got his start. And he was 29 years old when filming and plays lawyer Walter Fielding Jr.
What a goat.
Yep, absolutely.
We also have Shelley Long, who was born Shelley Lee Long on August 23rd, of 1949, and she is an actress, singer, and comedian, best known for playing Diane Chambers in Cheers. She received 5 Emmy nominations for the role, winning in 1983 for Outstanding Lead Actress in a Comedy Series, and also picked up 2 Golden Globe Awards. She later reprised Diane on Frasier, earning another Emmy nomination. On the big screen, she has appeared in films like Night Shift, Irreconcilable Differences, Outrageous Fortune, Troop Beverly Hills, and of course, The Money Pit. More recently, she had a recurring role as Dee Dee Pritchett on Modern Family from 2009 to 2018. She was 35 years old at the time of filming and plays Anna Crowley in this film.
And then we have Alexander Godunov. He was we've talked about him before, actually. He was a Russian American ballet dancer, and he defected to the United States in 1979. And after he moved to the US, he continued to do dancing, but also he appeared in films like Witness, Die Hard, which we've talked about him, and as the comically narcissistic symphony conductor Max in The Money Pit. If you wanted to know more about him, you could go back to our episode on Die Hard. But sadly, he passed away in 1995 from hepatitis related to chronic alcoholism. And he was 45 years old at the time of filming, and again plays Max in this film. And I think arguably is the funniest person in this film.
Word.
Yes.
No.
And an interesting fact is that this is actually a remake of the 1948 Cary Grant comedy, Mr. Blandings Builds His Dream House.
I was
I
going
did
to
not.
try and rent that, but I didn't have time. I was going to see if the library had it. Because I kind of wanted to see if maybe that movie was funny. But
True.
I still would like to go watch that movie, just to compare against the shenanigans.
Is it hard to find on the webs?
Yes.
It is?
For free. It's impossible to find.
What are they charging for a 1948 film?
Like $4 or $5, and I'm not paying that. I'm sick of paying for movies.
An
I've
80-year-old.
belonged to every streaming app under the sun, and every single one of them charges for pretty much every single movie we want to watch.
Communists.
Why I went and got a DVD player from Goodwill.
Good idea.
Yeah, that was a solid investment.
Yeah, it's paid for itself already. I am going to see if the library does have it. I think it's a long shot if they do, but I would like to see it.
Do we even know if it was released on a modern format?
I guess it is on DVD because you can get it for $2.95 off of eBay. Yes,
Okay.
but they do. So the
Plus $20 shipping.
right. So the used is $6.53, a new one is $10.49. So it is on DVD. So I will look to see if
Are there reviews on this movie?
on Mr. Blandings.
Yeah.
I do believe there are. Yes.
Guess we should have researched that movie a little bit.
And actually, it was received well. That Cary Grant, Myrna Loy, and Melvin Douglas have a highly experienced way with this sort of comedy. And that director H.C. Potter is so much at home with it that it gets additional laughs out of the predatory rustics and even out of the avid gestures of the steam shovel. And this is based off a book.
Wow.
So we might want to do an addendum to this episode on this original. But I mean, we've reviewed other movies that are based on others, and they do attribute this movie to having basically 4 remakes: The Money Pit, and then something in Sweden, something called Are We Done Yet? Which is weird because it's a sequel to the 2005 film Are We There Yet? Which is the name of my travel newsletter, which is weird. And then there was a French remake of it as well.
Wow. The Money Pit was released on March 26th of 1986. It had a budget of $18.4 million and had a box office gross of $55 million.
Happy birthday!
Yes. So we're doing this because when this is released, it will be the 40th anniversary.
Yep.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday. Happy birthday to you.
Ole.
Oh,
Olé.
no. So it did okay. Like this was like a high budget
It was a high budget.
Yeah, why?
for what it made. Tell us.
I can see from all the destruction that happened having that kind of budget. Maybe they had to buy the house.
Yeah, but like when we talk about the house was not a lot.
The house
No.
was for sale at the time that they filmed it.
I'd love to get the budgets. Is there somewhere on the internet where you can get what made up that $18.4 million budget? That would be awesome.
That would be
this is
pretty
how much
sweet.
Hanks got. This is how much Sully Long got. This is to be interesting because there weren't like a ton of special effects or
Right.
I
I
can
really think it was
think
part of just
of.
destroying the house and then having to
but
remodel
like
it.
the interiors weren't shot in the house.
Well,
the
that's a
interior
buzzkill.
the interiors were shot and
What do you mean?
What?
the interiors were shot at Kaufman Astoria Studios. So only the exteriors of that house were shot at that house.
So it says that the money pitch, which had reported production budget of $18.4 million, was primarily made up of expenses related to extensive location shooting, intricate physical stunts, set design, and the engagement of a notable cast and production team. So the location and exterior shooting, the production shot on location at the North Shore of Long Island, New York, including a relatively rundown mansion in Laddingtown, New York, constructed in 1898. The set and destructive effects.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
whatever. The
Okay, I
physical
can
stunts
get
and the
that.
special effects, the production crew and talent, and the filming schedule.
This is that's every single movie. I want to know how much. How did it break
Like
down?
the actors
Yeah,
made.
that's what I
yeah.
want to know. I want to know the actual breakdown of the costs, which I don't think we'll ever really see. But yeah,
Yeah,
sorry, go.
there are notable names and also Steven Spielberg.
True. And we've got Kathleen Kennedy was on this as well, right?
Yeah.
Our Lucasfilm bestie. Was she
Yep.
not? So principal photography, did we do this yet? Principal
No.
photography and April 29th of 1985. And they wrapped August 5th of 85. So 3 months. 3 months and
Pretty
a couple
typical.
days. Yeah. The key filming locations, like we talked about before, is the mansion, the exterior. So I went down a real rabbit hole on this one. It's located at 19 Feeks Lane in Laddingtown in Locust Valley, Long Island, New York. It is known as the Northway House. If you look it up, you can find actual interior shots of this house. And it's funny to look at the prices of these things because even today, its price is like cost of a basic mid-level ranch in San Jose, like 3.5 million. It may be worth maybe 5 today, but man, you couldn't get anywhere near that home. It's absolutely stunning, whoever did flip it. But it was built in 1898, and the interiors were filmed at Kaufman Astoria Studios in Queens, and the New York City apartments they used the Langham and the Apthorpe, and they had other different locations, notably the Café des Artistes, the Coles Sports Center, which is actually no longer there, and the Vizcaya Museum and Gardens for that final scene. Yep.
Yeah. Oh,
Let's
my
get into
God.
it.
All right, let's do it.
We start this movie at a wedding in Rio de Janeiro, and an older man is marrying a younger woman, and everybody's partying, and there's like women in like glittery bikinis, and this older man's new bride mentions to him, like, hey, I wish your son could have come to our wedding. And then the older guy is like, yeah, he couldn't come because he has problems, just like because he has a father like me.
Like, what was that supposed to mean? And what was the point of this
I don't,
father in the movie?
I really
Because
don't
it sets
know.
up the story for why Walter does what he does.
The setup of the story is that I guess they had a law firm, and it was father and son law firm.
Got it.
And they ended up screwing over, I don't know if they both
Well,
did
the
or if it was
dad
just the
ended up
dad.
screwing because the dad
Yeah.
took all the money.
Yeah, so the dad embezzled like millions of dollars from, so they represented musicians. And the father just took off and went to Rio de Janeiro with all this money and left Walter
His
Jr.
son.
with all the debt. And so I'd be like, fuck you.
That
I-
is some, my God. And so this guy is like working off his dad's debt.
Yes,
Yeah.
Poor guy.
exactly. So I wouldn't have shown up to his wedding either.
No.
We move on to Walter Jr., who's laying in bed and he's reading a letter from his dad saying, hey, you have a new mom. And Walter Jr. mentions that he used to have a respectable law firm with his dad. It's obvious that they have defaulted on a lot of bills and that him and his dad owe a lot of people a lot of money. And we now see some shots of Manhattan and the sun is rising. And Walter and his girlfriend Anna wake up and they're talking about how Walter wants a house in the suburbs. He wants a house with a white picket fence. And he wants 2.4 kids. And he's like, Anna, you have to marry me. And she's like, I just need a little bit more time. It's revealed that Anna has been married before and she got burned. And suddenly they are interrupted and told that they need to vacate this apartment that they're subletting from Anna's ex-husband because he's back and he wants them out. And Walter flips out. He's, we don't have any money. We don't have anywhere to go. And I don't know what we're going to do. And he's, Jack can help us. He's a real estate agent. So I'm going to contact him and see what he can do. And Walter mentions, hey, as long as we're together, nothing can go wrong. So we see Anna, who is now playing the violin. She's a concert violin player. And her ex-husband is actually the conductor. Walter tries to go and pay off some of his dad's debts, but the manager of this musical group that he managed says, hey, this company already has too much money, so you should just keep the money. Don't worry about it. I mean, they're never going to notice. Then we see Walter, who meets up with Jack, and Jack is like, I've got this incredible deal for you, but you need $200,000 by the close of business on Friday. And Jack ends up having cardiac arrest or something. It's hard to tell what happens to him, but he's walking on this track and he ends up getting taken away by an ambulance. And while they're in the ambulance, he's like, there's $1 million house that's being sold for only $200,000. And Walter's like, I'm not interested. I just really want an apartment. And he's like, you know, but I'll think about it, whatever. So we see Anna, who meets up with her ex-husband, Max, for lunch. And he's trying to swoon her and get her back. And Anna's like, I'm not interested. And every time she meets with Max, which is multiple times during this movie, he's always like, well, let's just have sex. We could just have sex. And she's always like, no, thanks, I'm good. So this is when Anna and Walter actually drive out to look at this house that's for sale. And when they pull up, I mean, it's a beautiful house. And they meet the homeowner, Estelle, and Estelle shows them around the house, and they're just like in awe. Like, why is this house so cheap? I don't get it. And Estelle is kind of like, hey, my husband has been arrested. She actually says that Carlos, her husband, was Hitler's pool man. And she's like, I just need to sell it. I need to make some money. I just need to get rid of it.
Did anyone else picture Hitler having a pool here?
I think that's what made it so funny.
I
You
was like,
know.
yeah, okay.
Estelle actually drives them back home in her classic Lincoln, which was from, it looked like it was from the 30s. like the open top Lincoln. It was pretty
Mhm.
cool. And Walter and Anna talk about this. Nothing can be this easy. There's no way we can get a mansion for this
She
cheap.
doesn't drive them home.
Where does she
drives them
drive?
to the, she drove them
To
to the
the
train
train
station.
Oh, to the train station. I'm sorry. Yes.
Yeah.
So she drives them to the train station, and they're talking about how there's no way that this could be this easy. No way. And Walter's, I think I want this house. And Anna's, okay, if we're going to do this, then I have to put up half of this money so that it's our house. And he's like, I think that everything's going to work out because look, like the train is coming, everything is working out perfectly. And right then the train just passes them up, doesn't pick them up. So we see Walter, who goes and visits one of his clients, Benny, who is a child star. And he asks this little boy to borrow $200,000 in cash.
That's a
and
weird scene.
It's really weird. And Benny's like, no, I'm not giving you the money. And Walter's like, I'll not like you if you don't let me borrow that money. So Benny's like, okay, yeah, I'll give you the money. Like, what? So it was that easy? You just had to tell a kid that you won't like him? So Benny gives him the money, obviously. And now they've got the house. And we see Walter and Anna cleaning the house up. And right away, we start to notice some problems. Walter rings the doorbell and he gets shocked real bad. Anna goes to lay down on the bed, which I guess they left behind all the furniture. Anna goes to lay on the bed, and the whole mattress just sinks in and she falls into the bed. Walter ends up knocking the whole door frame out. He notices that one of the stairs is messed up, so he tries to fix the stairs. The ceiling falls on Anna's head while he's pounding on the stairs. And then Anna goes in the bathroom and she tries to draw a bath. And when she turns on the water, all this water just comes out like mud. It looks like
That didn't look like that. Looked
Didn't-
like
baby diarrhea.
diarrhea. That could be
Yes.
adult diarrhea too. That
It
was
just-
absolutely disgusting.
yes, it was.
I want to know how they
awful.
made that. Like how they made that in effect. Like what did
It-
they do to make it?
I don't want to know. So Anna kind of walks out of the bathroom and just more and more things just keep going wrong. And then Walter's trying to fix the door and then he shuts it and the door just falls forward. So first it falls in, then it falls forward out of the frame. And Anna's, oh, wow, there's a dumbwaiter in this house, which is pretty cool. And
I mean,
she
which
opens it
is cool.
very
Like
cool.
anytime you had a friend,
very
like
cool.
because there were some Lakewood houses that still had dumbwaiters in it. That was
Yeah.
cool as shit.
Super
Yeah.
cool. And she opens it up and just this rabid raccoon jumps out at her and she starts screaming and Walter goes to run up the stairs to see what happened and the whole staircase just completely falls apart and falls to the ground and he's like holding on to the top ledge of the steps and Anna walks out and she's stepping on his fingers and he ends up falling backwards, landing on his back. And it's just a hot mess. And so they end up actually eventually going to bed and they fall asleep on the floor because the bed is broken. And it starts torrentially thunderstorming. And when they wake up, there's water just pouring into the bedroom. And they kind of just are like, yeah, that happened. So now we see like a new mattress being delivered, but they have no stairs. So they're just taking that up a ladder. Like, I can't believe the mattress delivery people were on board with that. I would have been like, yeah,
Right.
here you go. Good luck.
And there was
And I-
no bed in a box back then.
No, those weigh so much though. I wouldn't have carried that up a ladder either. Just them-
Hoisted it
I don't know, man.
up around it and just hoist it up.
Moving men. So a carpenter shows up and he's putting the moves on Anna and he calls her attractive wool, which I didn't understand what that meant.
I don't
But
get it either.
I didn't understand that either.
Yeah, and they said it like a couple times and I'm like, what does that mean?
Yeah.
Maybe that wasn't like an 80s adult term. I don't know. But Anna goes into the kitchen to cook dinner. She goes to light the stove and it actually works. And Walter is like besides himself when he realizes that it actually works. Walter and Anna start talking about, besides the fact that the house has problems, they do love it and they love each other. And Walter goes outside and he takes a tinkle while he's getting attacked by some bees. And he decides to add a heart on the tree. There's a tree outside that says like Estelle and Carlos. And he decides that he's going to carve their names into the tree. And instead, the tree just falls over.
Is
of
that what
course-
he was going to do?
What else would he have been
I
doing?
don't know, because he did this weird look back at the house, and then he was like stabbed right above the heart. It looked like he was gonna do something nefarious. I don't know.
I assumed that he was going to put another heart above it and
Okay,
put like their
I'm gonna
names
go
on
with
it.
you.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with you on that.
Let's hope that's what he was going to do.
Okay.
And the tree falls. And so a plumber shows up and he's, Walter's begging him to fix the plumbing in the house. And he ends up paying him $5,000. He has to come back on another day. But so Walter and Anna have to carry water upstairs using the ladder to put water into the bathtub. And so they're pouring water into the bathtub. Walter has to go back downstairs to get hot water off the stove. He turns the light on in the kitchen and like all of the electrical lines in the kitchen just start catching on fire. And it goes all throughout the walls. It shoots. So like Anna had been in the kitchen cooking and it goes like this fire goes all through the electrical lines, through the whole kitchen into the stove. And the turkey ends up shooting out of the stove through the window, which this house is kind of L-shaped. It's hard to describe, but it shoots out the window up towards the window where Anna is. And it lands in the bathroom in one of the buckets that she had just poured water into the bathtub with. And
Slight backup. One reason to watch this movie is Tom Hanks laughing when the bathtub falls through the ceiling.
Oh my God.
well,
That-
we haven't gotten to that part yet.
Well, I thought we just did.
No.
Oh,
No.
I heard the pouring
So-
into the bathtub.
So so the turkey shoots through the window, it lands into a bucket, and Walter comes up with the warm water to pour into the bathtub. And when he goes to pour it into the bathtub, the whole bathtub just falls through the floor and shatters all over the living room. And they're just standing there staring at this hole in the floor. And Walter just starts laughing maniacally. And he cannot stop laughing because it's like one of those situations where, of course, this just fucking happened. Like,
Right.
of course, this just happened. And he's just laughing. It's so hilarious. Like, he just cannot stop laughing. So Walter is now convinced that everything that he touches is doomed. And Anna tells him everything's just going to be fine. You have to trust me. Everything's going to be fine. So the next morning, a motorcade of people show up in like monster trucks, people on motorcycles, people in go-karts. Just all
Everything.
these. They all looked like they were either coming from a punk rock concert or a carnival or like a strongman concert or strongman contest. It was interesting. So Walter goes outside and he sees the plumbing guy and he says, "Hey, we're here to work today. You won the lottery of who we were actually going to show up for, and we're going to get to work." So Anna and Walter leave. They get in that antique Lincoln and they just head on out, and they leave and they just don't even really care what happens. And the whole house just gets ripped apart. Like the whole exterior of the house, they're just ripping holes into it. It's a mess. And Anna is now meeting with Max to sell him a painting that she has. She wants money to put towards the house. And he just wants more sex. Hey, every time he meets with her, he's just like, "Hey, what about sex? Let's just have sex." And he agrees to buy finally agrees to buy this painting from her. And Walter ends up coming back to the house, and the house is just completely in shambles. Like, the front yard is all torn up. The whole inside of the house, like the interior of the house, is completely just down to like nothing. It's just crumbled. And Anna calls him, I think, at this point, and he's like, yeah, the house is destroyed. And the guys who are working on the house are like, yeah, we can't finish this job, so we're just going to head on out. You don't have the right permits. The permit guy was here, but like you guys weren't here. So we're just going to go, and your house is destroyed. And yeah, he tells Anna that the house is in ruins, and Walter's like, I'm going to call this permit guy and see if he can come back out. And he's like, hey, I can be there like in a half hour if you can give me some cash. And so Walter is like, yeah, let's do that. And he stands up when he gets off the phone, and he ends up sliding through the floor into a hole, and he just gets stuck there. So like this rug that was over the floor just slides into this hole, and he's stuck in the floor and he can't get out. So the permit guy ends up showing up, and he hears Walter yelling, but he thinks that like Walter is making fun of him and that he's laughing at him. And he's, you know what? Screw you. I'm leaving. I'm never coming back. And he leaves, and Walter is still stuck. And Anna ends up getting a ride back to the house from like this truck driver, like she's in a semi. And when they pull up to the house, she yells, "Good Lord." And the truck driver's, "Have you been testing missiles here?" And she responds with, the house is going to be great. And
So
Anna,
positive.
yes, Anna's looking all over the house for Walter, and they're like doing this Marco Polo thing where she's like, "Where are you?" And he's, "I'm here. I'm in the
This
office," or
this
whatever.
was an irritating scene.
Yeah. And she's like, "Where?" And he's, "I'm right here." They kept going back and forth, and finally she finds him in the floor and like have a laugh or whatever. So they go to bed, but the windows are all busted. Like, they have no windows. So they're just sleeping on the floor in this house that has no walls, no windows, and it's filthy dirty from all the like drywall or sheetrock or whatever they made 1800s houses out of, horsehair, whatever. And they're just laying in bed with their coats on, and Walter goes over to light the chimney, and the entire fireplace just falls through. And so like the chimney falls through the fireplace and makes this huge mess. So they go to bed, and then now we fast forward to 4 months later, and construction is in full swing. The construction guys are they're out on the scaffolding, and they're looking through the window, and they're watching Anna and Walter kind of rolling around in bed. And it's obvious that they're getting kind of stressed about this house. And now they're kind of getting at each other's throats. Anna reminds Walter, "Can you get the water for the bath?" And Walter goes to get it after he's kind of irritated. And he's, "Oh my God, we have stairs. We have stairs again." So they had put in the new stairs, and he's so happy, and he starts crying. And Anna opens the medicine cabinet, and there's a worker on the other side because there's a hole in the wall. His name is James, and obviously she's been seeing him every morning. And she's, "I'd like Alka-Seltzer," so he hands it to her. And he's, "Just so you know, you're almost out of birth control pills." And Anna gets dressed, and she comes downstairs, and she's got the cutest little outfit on. And she asked the workers that are in the kitchen, like, "Hey, have you seen Walter? Because he was supposed to be bringing me some water." And the worker's like, "Here," and just turn on the faucet. And the water works now. So, like, it's been months they haven't had any water. So she's very happy. And she's trying to make some coffee. And there's 18 million things plugged into one electrical outlet. And so she goes to unplug something to plug in the coffee pot. It turns out that was actually like a table saw that one of the workers was using, and it stops. When that happens, Walter is talking to somebody and he steps back and he ends up falling through the floor, and he hits a board that launches this table saw into the air. And then Anna plugs the saw back in because she realizes that now she's made a mistake. And the saw ends up cutting through another board that had a wheelbarrow on it. And that wheelbarrow ends up falling with a bunch of bricks on it. And it hits a board that launches Walter out of a window into what looks like wet cement that's in a tray. And so he's now covered in cement. And he stumbles up onto the roof and he falls into their trash chute, and it falls forward, knocking over all the scaffolding, and the workers are jumping off of it, and the scaffolding all falls down, and Walter falls, and he ends up in like this rolling bucket, and it rolls down the hill, and he lands in the fountain, and the fountain has this little boy that's peeing on his head. So it's just a mess. So now Anna's practicing at the symphony, and she is irritated. This house is obviously causing some major stress. And she asks Max for a cigarette, and Max is like, "You don't smoke anymore." And she's like, "Yeah, I do again." And she tells Max that the thought of going back to that house is just, it's too much for her. And he's like, "Hey, why don't I take you out for dinner? You can come back to my place. You can take a hot bath. Wouldn't that be great? And drinks. We can have drinks." The next thing we know, she wakes up in Max's bed. And he's all behind her, and he's like kissing on her. And she's like, "What the hell happened?" And he's like, she says, "I was drunk. We made a mistake. I'm in love with Walter." So we see a scene where there's like this weird little punch buggy, and it's singing a song that drops off Walter at the house, and it's singing this "I Am Pizza" song. It's pretty funny. And Anna comes back to the house, and Anna tells Walter that she went to dinner with Max, and Walter flat out asks her, "Did you sleep with him?" And Walter knows that she wasn't home last night because he called and he got no answer. Walter was out of town. And she alludes that she did not. And they stop the conversation. So Walter, they like go to bed, and Walter wakes her up in the middle of the night, and he's like, "You tell me the truth if you slept with him, right?" And then he goes back to sleep, and Anna wakes up Walter in the middle of the night and tells him, "I didn't sleep with him after having too many drinks." Oh, she does tell him that she slept with him. And he says, "It's okay." And he wants to talk about it in the morning because right now he's too tired.
Like, why does he do that?
Maybe he's just like me, like in a coma while he's sleeping. Like, you could tell me probably anything while if I'm already asleep and you wake me up and tell me something, I'm going to be like, "I don't care. When I wake up, just tell me then." I'm comatose.
And you're still able to go back to sleep?
Probably. So he wakes up and he just immediately starts yelling, "You whore! I'm out of town for 5 minutes and you can't wait to leap into the sack with Max?" And so they start yelling at each other. Anna says she's leaving. Walter says he's leaving. He falls asleep on the kitchen ping pong table the next night. And the workers joke that Anna kicked him out. Anna comes downstairs the next morning. She's got this very fancy red dress on, sort of like the Princess Diana dress.
Yeah.
So she comes down, and they joke about how she makes this joke about how she's going to go sleep with the entire Marine Corps band. And Anna's like, "I'm mad, and I think you're being a jerk." And so they kind of argue about who should leave the house. And Walter is like, "Well, you shouldn't have any trouble finding a bed." One of the workers actually kind of walks by them, and he's like, "I have a bed for you, lady." And so they kind of yell at each other about how neither of them wants to leave. And Anna's like, "I love this house, and I put every dime that I have into this house." And Walter tells her, like, you're going to get every single dime of that back. And she's like, yeah, okay, you owe everybody money. You owe me money and everybody that you've literally ever met. And she's, I'll pay you back is going to be on your gravestone. And he tells her that the house is so big that they should just divide it and share it. And that's such a dumb idea that it amazes me that you ever passed the bar. And he says, I'm sure it does.
Burn.
Yeah, I'm sure it does. You've never passed a bar in your entire life.
Ooh.
And she responds with, you are so much less attractive when I'm sober. And he says,
Wow.
thank goodness it's not that often.
Wow.
Dang.
So they really burn each other.
Yeah.
So Anna's like, we're just going to have to wait this out until the house is done. We're going to sell it, get our money back, and move on with our lives. So she yells at the workers to get back to work. And she goes upstairs and she starts crying. And I think that this is where Walter realizes that she's crying upstairs. I think he realizes this isn't what I want. This house this renovation really caused some problems, and this isn't what I want to happen. But then Max shows up at the house, and he goes right upstairs to talk to Anna, but he does ask, are they testing missiles here? Because the yard's all torn up.
Fucked. The yard's fucked.
So Anna talks to Max and she says that Walter knows about what happened with them. And Max is like, yeah, I gotta come clean. We didn't really have sex. You slept in my bed and I slept on the couch. And Max tells her to tell Walter the truth. And Max tells Walter that he's taken one of the greatest women on earth and thrown her away. So we fast forward and the house is now done and it's absolutely gorgeous.
Mhm.
Curly did a phenomenal job. Like, this house is just
Yeah. Like,
swoon worthy. Like,
how did this group of people make that house? No
you know
clue.
what? I would have trusted them from the beginning.
Yeah, no,
that
I
they were
know.
go-
But it was also haphazard. Like,
It really was. And I don't know. I guess I see where they doubted them at the beginning.
I'm so happy they actually showed up.
that they weren't being swindled from the start.
Yes. So we kind of see this scene where Curly's like in the foyer of the house and Walter is in like the living room area and Anna is actually on the other side in like the dining room area. And so they're looking at each other, but Curly's in the middle and he can tell now that there is some major tension between the two of them. And Curly looks at them and he gives them some fatherly advice. And he says, if the house can be fixed, so can everything else.
Word.
He does a really good job at that. Yeah.
And so they kind of look at each other, but they decide to go upstairs and get their belongings together so that they can go their separate ways. And they have a conversation about how they have everything all packed up. And they go up the stairs and Walter all of a sudden stops. And he realizes that this is the step that started it all. This was the step that we noticed was broken when we first looked at the house. And he says, it's too late to put it all back together. And he tells Anna, you slept with Max. And I don't care. Not enough for us to be apart. And he says that her sleeping with Max was actually the best thing that could have happened to them. And now he knows how much he really loves her. And she tells him, you know what? I didn't actually sleep with him. And so they kiss. So now Max is conducting an orchestra in the front lawn of the house. And we see there's a rock band and they're performing the wedding song, but like a rock version of it.
Right.
And so Walter and Anna have obviously gotten married. Oh, and there's a choir too.
I don't know how they afforded this wedding.
It was at home and
These
it's
are-
all people they know.
Yeah, it's all their friends.
Sure.
And Benny was there.
Drinking his milk.
Yeah, so everybody's there. Benny's there. So now we're back in Rio de Janeiro, and we see Walter's father and his bride, which I think her name's Florinda. So Walter Sr. and Florinda, and they're looking at this steal of a mansion that they want to buy. And this guy who's selling it, he's like, we've lived in it for several years, but we need to get rid of it. That's why we're selling it for super cheap. And Walter's father has this briefcase full of cash, and he's like, it's all there. You can count it, whatever. And then we see the same woman who sold the
Estelle.
house to, Estelle.
And the
Who
guy
sold the-
says his name's Carlos, too.
Yeah, and he says his name is
Mhm.
Carlos. So we see Estelle, and she's yelling, Carlos, come on, we haven't got all day, we got to go. And we realize that they're probably about to have the same problems that Walter and Anna did at this place. And that's the end of the movie.
And scene.
Roll
Man.
credits.
So was it a coincidence about Estelle and Carlos?
No, they were swindlers.
The fact that they even found each other
Yeah, I think it was a
I
coincidence.
think it was just like
in
kismet.
another country.
Yeah,
I don't know.
it was-
There's missing pieces there that I would like to know.
we may never know, Carol.
I don't think we will, and that's a huge disappointment.
I'm sorry. Sorry that happened to
Fine.
you.
It's fine.
It's just like that's what the dad deserved.
Absolutely.
Not Walter Jr. The dad deserves it. So I think that's why it ended
It
up happening.
ends
to him.
with Walter Jr. getting this happy ending, and then Walter Sr. getting what's coming to him. Because
Yes.
he's given like all his money into this house.
Yes.
The tomato meter gave this a 50%.
This is gotta be one of the lowest we've had.
Yeah, surprisingly. And it has a 58% popcorn meter.
That's
I
like,
am
really bad.
Yeah. The tomato meter is okay out of 22 reviews, but the popcorn meter is from 50,000 plus ratings.
Well, Xanadu got a 31.
As well, it should.
No, it should
No,
not.
it should not, Carol. Don't start.
Are there negatives on the
I'm trying to see what
negative
positive stuff
percentages?
got.
Okay. So IMDb gave it has a rating of 6.4 out of 10 out of 67,000 ratings. And it has a 49 Metascore. Yeah.
Yikes.
But its user score on Metascore is a 6.4, which correlates with IMDb. So pretty much across all of the rating sites, it's pretty much the same.
So it sits between 13% for Howard the Duck and 30% for Xanadu. So it sits like right there in the middle.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hmm.
Yep. Roger Ebert. Is that where we left off?
Yeah.
Roger Ebert gave The Money Pit 1 out of 4 stars, calling the film one monotonous sight gag after another. And I don't disagree with him. Ebert's colleague Gene Siskel likewise gave it 1 out of 4, describing the film as miserable and an abject failure. He criticized Tom Hanks for being his usual smug self, and Shelley Long for being more cute than she was funny. And I don't think he's wrong. I don't think he's wrong either. Newsweek said the nimble Hanks again proves his delicious way with a double take. Long is nothing if not likable. And Godunov is a supremely silly narcissist. If the filmmakers had trusted these performers more and stuck closer to reality, things may have turned out better. Instead of a real estate fiasco anybody could roar at in recognition, the Money Pit has been inflated into a noisy destruction derby. The Miami Herald said, its situation and its sight gags are marvelous, recalling the best of Spielberg's 1941. But like that movie, The Money Pit is disconnected. Pieces seem missing, like you pointed out, Carol, and subplots seem to have been abandoned in a rush. Time Out London said you can see it coming, but it still has the delicious what's with the word delicious?
I don't know.
Yeah, that's a weird one.
Sorry, I
I
gotta
don't
start
know.
that one. You can see it coming, but it still has the delicious. It's an anticipation of the slow burn. What? And it all gets much worse. Director Richard Benjamin has the rare gift of knowing just where the funny bone lies, a certain taste for Keaton-esque slapstick, and a very fine comic performer in Hanks.
But the AV Club said it's not high art or sophisticated humor, but there are just enough clever turns in its physical comedy and insight into relationships to give it a bit of a cult status.
Sure.
I don't know about cult status, but
I don't know about cult status, but
Yeah.
I hear you, AV Club, but
I couldn't find very many positive reviews.
no.
There was nobody that was like, this was a good movie.
I think it was that bad.
Was the worst movie I've seen. It's definitely not the best movie I've seen. It's not even middle of the road for me. For me, it's in that 0 to 50% range of I just didn't quite. And I watched it a second time today. I woke up and said, I'm gonna watch it again. I just want to make sure I've given it the chance because I don't think I laughed out loud once during the movie.
No.
I did in the bathtub scene from his laughing.
Oh, that laugh, yes. But there was nothing slapsticky that I was just like,
I feel if we weren't used to Tom Hanks, then it would have been more humorous, but it went on par with how
I don't know that
his
it
characters have been.
because then he comes out with Big right after this.
Right.
And he just delivers it so well. It's what Time Out London said. You can see it coming. You can see it all coming. There are no surprises in this movie outside of the fact that I think the funniest guy was the maestro.
Yeah.
I think that was the funniest role. He had the best lines.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna give it a not really cringe. I didn't feel like there was anything offensive in this movie. It was a pretty vanilla script. It was. Did it age well? Sure, but without seeing like kind of the original movie with Cary Grant, I hesitate to say go watch this movie. I think I would most likely say go. What was the name of it?
Mr. Blandings
Mr.
builds
Blandings
his
builds
dream
his
house.
dream house. I don't know if it would be like, yeah, sure, watch this movie. Maybe it could show you how you can buy a house. I don't know. Would I watch it if it was on TV? Probably not. I'd probably turn on Food Network or something.
Food Network.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I just don't think I would stop.
I'm going to agree on pretty much all those aspects. I give it a not really. I would probably not watch it if it were on again somehow for free.
Right.
And I think it's aged well. I would like to see another remake the first one was 80 years ago and then this one's now turning 40 and I would like to see a remake actually with Paul Rudd.
Ooh, that's a good one.
I think he would do well in this. So I think that's my redeeming quality of this movie is my projected future for it and what it could be in another remake. I thought Tom Hanks did a great job. It wasn't anything slap your knee silly funny, but it was a movie. It was there. It wasn't horrible. It isn't something to write home about.
It wasn't
Right.
anything to jump up and down and spit nickels about.
Nope.
I'm not going to spit nickels. No.
Yeah, I guess I have to agree with the girls. it's not cringy. There's nothing about it that's cringy except all the sex that Max wants from his ex-wife.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that there's parts of the movie that are cute. I think that we see that, yeah, home renovation is a pain in the ass and that it does cause some relationship issues because you're at each other's throats and that relationships aren't always perfect and that sometimes you get a little frustrated with each other during stressful times. I don't think that there was no like big climax to the movie that you're like, you're anticipating like, oh my God, this was great. But yeah, I mean, there were parts of the movie that were cute. I didn't expect to like it at all. I expected to be like, well, that was stupid because the reviews were so bad on it. But I didn't mind it. I didn't think it was dumb. I didn't think that it was like unwatchable. But I also don't think that I would ever really watch it again because I have watched it now and it's not something that I'm like, ooh, I need to watch that again. Did it age well? Yeah, I think, like Carol said, it could be remade. Absolutely. I think that there could be some like pretty good humor added to it, that it could be freaking hilarious. Paul Rudd would be good. But yeah, I mean, there's nothing about it that's like phenomenal. So yeah, that's my take. I don't think that I would rewatch it. And that's the money pit because nothing encapsulates an 80s rom-com quite like your dream house turned into a full-blown financial nightmare.
So, if your real estate agent friend says that they have a great deal on $1 million mansion for only $200,000, maybe don't walk, run for the hills.
Thank you for joining us at the Shermer High Alumni Association. If you had as much fun as we did, hit follow, leave a review, and share this episode with your fellow 80s movies lovers. Thank you for joining us at the Shermer High Alumni Association. If you had as much fun as we did, hit follow, leave a review, and share this episode with your fellow 80s movie lovers. Until next time, be kind and don't forget to rewind. Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. La 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 la.
That'll be some B-roll.
La 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 la.
Oh, yeah, that's going at the end of the episode.